All right, today I'm interviewing this guy right here. He's one of my best friends in the world. He's awesome. I think the world of him. And I am going to let him explain his name, or I should say names, his names to you. All right, go, man.
My name is Quincy Hurst, biological name, and my stage name is Blockboy Q. I do shows at loading docks, and I make music, and I have a passion for music and art. And my best friend Ryan over here, you should go support him on his YouTube channel and his Instagrams. He's the best. He's the best. I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope everyone's eating well, sleeping well, not doing too many drugs, you know.
So, Q, tell everyone how old you are.
I am 18 years old.
18 years old, and in those 18 years, those short 18 years, you have had a lot happen, huh?
Yes, I've had a lot happen.
Where to start, right? Where to even start?
Well, I was born in northern Michigan, Traverse City. That's my birthplace, and I was raised in Detroit, off of the west side, and I was raised the rest of my life in Louisiana, Baton Rouge.
Mm-hmm.
My mom ended up going back and forth with guys because relationships are a problem in life itself. And I grew up on the streets, sleeping in the car, camping out in campsites, and doing things that kids shouldn't do at the age of 12, 13, 14, 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned to express myself through music, drawing, sitting down with close friends that feel the same way I feel about them and that feel about what goes on this earth. Like, everyone should be positive and everyone shouldn't have negativity. Even if there is negativity, turn that negativity into a positive cell, because everything that you go through on a daily basis is a lesson, because that lesson teaches you what not to do and what to do next time. Because say it's like a skateboard trick. It's like a skateboard trick.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to do a kickflip, say. You gotta have your positioning right and your timing perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you do make mistakes, you're gonna learn from that mistake. Say I go too far over on the flip on a kickflip.
Mm-hmm.
I know to bring my kick in a little bit more and hit the coping just right. And then it all comes to mind. It's manifestation and law of attraction. You attract what you want to manifest, and what you manifest will come to life. Like this, I always wanted in an interview. I manifested and Ryan gave it to me.
Yes. And hey, by the way, this, you were saying earlier, this is your very first time here.
Yes,
in this room.
This is a very beautiful building right here. This
Right.
is one of the beautifulest art zones I've ever seen. Like the stained glass, guys, it's unspeakable.
This used to be called Hotel Utah.
Really?
It was a Westin hotel, and it was beautiful, and then they made it even more beautiful and turned it into the Joseph Smith Memorial Building.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what it has been ever since. But it's a really welcoming environment. You know, like it's not just
Very welcoming.
it's not just for members of the Church
Right.
of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but it's
Right.
for like everybody. And it's beautiful. Sometimes they have people come and play that piano over there, and
Oh, all right.
get some nice classical vibes going on and stuff.
Of course.
And so,
Always with the classical vibes, bro.
yes, okay.
Is there any
Now-
questions you have for me, Ryan?
Oh, absolutely.
Go ahead.
Let me just, okay.
Hit the ball out of the park, bro.
All right. So now, like I said, however personal you want to get, like, do you want to tell people about your dad? Because of like recently things have kind of, there's been some developments.
Yeah, well, I'm 18 years old, right? So my dad just came back into my life from 13 years and says he's been looking for me ever since then, but that's not the case, because when I was a kid, he was abusing my siblings around me. I have 6 step-siblings and 1 blood brother. My blood brother was abused as a child. He was beaten and done all these like horrific stuff with all my other siblings. There's court cases and black and white paperwork for my mom being hit by a drunk driver 24 years ago, and then my dad ended up taking me and my brother when she was in the hospital to Louisiana on a plane with my Uncle Neil.
Mm-hmm.
And we grew up in Louisiana, Florida.
Now, where exactly in Louisiana?
Baton Rouge and Holly Grove.
Okay, Baton Rouge and Holly
Grove. Holly Grove.
Holly Grove. Okay, where is Holly Grove?
Holly Grove is like kind of, so it's like kind of like in the middle of the state of Louisiana. It's the most ghetto parts of Louisiana, it's where people get robbed, they sell drugs, they get shot, killed. It's where all the bad stuff happens. And I see kids there when I was younger laying in ditches with their ribs just sticking out because they haven't eaten for days, or they're just on the dog food that they ended up catching part of.
Now, how old were you when you came out here?
I was 12 when
You're
I
12?
first came out here to Utah.
Okay, because we know another artist actually, and that's Young Slip Up.
Yeah.
He was from Louisiana originally.
Yes,
and
sir.
I think he moved out here when he was a little bit younger than you were, or whatever. But have you ever been back to Louisiana since then?
I have not been back to Louisiana since then. I'm kind of in the mix of deciding if I want to go visit right now because of my father. Because, like, everything, the past is the past, but the things he did are unspeakable. I'm just trying to see if he's got, like, I'm honestly just trying to see what his alternative motive is. Like, if he's actually trying to be a part of me and my brother's lives and the lifestyle that I choose. And he said he used to make music when he was a kid, and like before he had me, when he was like,
It's kind of in your blood.
yeah, so it's in my bloodline. Yeah, definitely in my bloodline.
You know what? Someone, I heard some advice once to like new parents,
Mm-hmm.
or no, to maybe not new parents, but like teenagers,
Right.
and stuff that are going through a phase where they don't like their parents. Now, in your situation, you've been
Okay.
through more than most people. But here was the advice. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's remember that before they had you, they were you.
Yeah, yes,
Right?
that is true.
Because they were trying to figure things out. They didn't know anything
Mm-hmm.
themselves, you know. And so it's a process for everyone. And sometimes they make really big mistakes.
Yeah.
Sometimes, especially if there's like drinking involved.
Well, any kind of substance abuse or physical abuse or mental abuse, yeah. But to like get through those type of things, just find what you like to do and it was what your passion is, because what you want to do with yourself is the only way you're going to be able to vent. Just as like I make music, there's people out there that skateboard like I do, and they do that nonstop. Like I met a guy the other day, I forgot his name. I'll come to me probably sometime, maybe later in the interview, I don't know.
Yeah.
And he does nothing but skateboard and hang out on top of hospital roofs, because that's how he deals with his depression. That's how he deals with his anxiety and the stuff that goes on through a daily basis, because his dad kicked him out at 14 years old. And he's been doing that ever since. He's starting to make his own label, such as mine. Like, he's making a skating label, I'm making a music label. Me, Det, Sick, and whoever else is in the mix will, short term for it, put your mind to it. As long as you got your thought process on that and you're hooked and reeled into it, there's no going wrong. There might be a few cracks, bumps, potholes in the road, but don't let those stop you, because you can fill those cracks and potholes and dips right back up. Just gotta cruise right over them.
And you know what? It's really weird because like sometimes people, okay, everyone has struggles that we can't see, right?
Right.
Sometimes it's mental, sometimes it's even people that we don't suspect have probably going through something, or we might just think, oh, their parents are rich or something, or
Right.
they have everything handed to them or whatever. It's crazy, like the struggles that people go through that we don't know about,
Yeah.
that we can't see, like they have pressures,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, you could be rich with all the money in the effing world, my friends, and still have some problems in your family and your bloodline. I know people that, like Young Slip Up, there's like, so how do I let's see.
You kind of look up to him, don't you?
Yeah, I look up to him to a certain extent, because like he's got the same mentality of positivity that I do, and to see that coming out of another artist, it just like it impresses me, and it makes me more intrigued to like learn more about that artist and what he went through in his life, because like you said, he's from Louisiana just as like I am. So there is some struggles that he did go through, because you can't live in Louisiana and not have gone through anything.
Louisiana. Have you ever seen an alligator?
I have seen an alligator, I've seen caiman, I've seen crocodiles, and I'm gonna tell you what, they're delicious.
Wait, do they have crocodiles down there?
Yeah, they do. They have crocodiles down there. They're mostly like, they're hard to pinpoint sometimes, because there's mostly caiman, because the caiman are like the more bigger jaws. The crocodiles are more nose extended. So like, the crocodiles more historic, because it's the longest dinosaur besides like sharks and well, whatever sea life. They're on the chain of long living species. So like the crocodile is a dinosaur, a shark is a dinosaur. What else is a dinosaur? Turtles, like all the sea life, and all ocean life, they have all been dinosaurs. We're even technically dinosaurs because our human DNA have been branched off from that because there was cavemen back in the day. Like if you go to the art museums and there's a certain museum I went to when I was younger. It was in Michigan. You go to Cedar Point and there's a museum that talks all about it and talks about the native stuff.
I wish that the cavemen had better writing because like they could draw pictures like, on the wall and stuff, but I want to know what their day-to-day life was like. I want to know what they were thinking,
They actually, when they started actually progressing into art form, they just like drew pictures of themselves and their tribes. It actually explained the story. So like if you go to a art museum and you go look at let's say the caveman native artifacts, how do I say this? It's like the sand dollar. That was a shell that was formed from a jellyfish. That's a fossil. Sorry, I had to make sure I told you that. So if we go back to the native and caveman time, they were making clay. They made the wheel. They made all these things. They didn't even understand each other's language at one point when they first started like mumbling and talking. Their emotions, their actions spoke louder than what their words could speak. And then when they put their emotions and their actions into their art, it explains a lot more because like I looked at this one canvas that there was a bunch of these natives with spears and cavemen and this big woolly mammoth. So the story behind that is the woolly mammoth is a sacred animal. Back in that time it was. They used its tusks for medicine. They used the fur and the hides for...
the woolly mammoth was probably really intelligent because elephants are really intelligent.
They were very, very, very intelligent, and elephants wouldn't be intelligent as they are today if it wasn't for the woolly mammoth, because the woolly mammoths were very high on the food chain. They would eat they were mostly herbivores, but if they had to defend themselves towards carnivores, they'd use their tusks or they would use their body weight against them. And there's been a few occasions that I've looked up on YouTube that there have been at least, say like 2,000 tribes that have been decreased because of woolly mammoths, because of how big and how aggressive they could be, because they're just like everything else, trying to live and get by. And when it was about that time, everything just started going down, and that's when our time became like the light bulb wasn't even. We were not, us humans, like this generation, or like back in the 19s or Vietnam, like when everything was in the Depression. We're not the first ones to invent light bulbs. The Egyptians and natives invented that because if you guys are religious, Jesus was he was not white. He was very dark toned because he lived in ancient Egypt, where it was very hot and they would have tans. They were darker than me, and I don't know. I kind of do get offended.
In the Middle East, yeah, it's not. They didn't have they didn't have what we think of as white.
They didn't have very white skin. Some had very light skin. Some had very dark skin.
Right, depends on the individual.
Depends on the individual and what their environment they grew up in. Yeah. But what I'm trying to get to, religion is religion. Manifest what you believe in. I believe in a higher power, which is multiple gods, because there's a God that created the universe. Well, there's a God that created the planet, and there's a God that created the universe. And there's a God making sure the guy that's controlling the universe is doing everything that he's supposed to do. It's a line of people, just like Father Time, Mother Nature, and so like, how do I explain it? So if you guys have ever watched Avatar or anything like that, there's or like Naruto or something, it all explains that type of stuff, because nothing was able to be made without the energy and the positivity that you would make. So like if you go to Avatar: The Last Airbender, he had to learn water, fire, earth, and air, which he already knew air. He already got down water. The only two supplements he had to do was earth and fire. So like there are positions in the universe that people control. It's like how Ryan's sitting right in front of me. He's controlling his own world at this point, because through his eyes he sees something way more different than what I see in my own eyes.
Through my eyes right now, I see two of you. One on the phone and one sitting
in front of you.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I only see a camera and then I see you.
Yeah, you see none of yourself. Well,
Yeah.
You see your arms. And you
Well, I see my arms, I see my tattoos, I see my phone, I see my belt. Like,
Yeah.
it's all cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Thanks for nothing. That's the brand.
Okay.
West Valley Mall. That's where you can go get your drip.
I was actually telling what I was talking with Trevor the other day when
Right.
I interviewed him. We were talking about how this world we live in is like three-dimensional.
It is three-dimensional. I was
And
actually listening to that.
People are always talking about graphics and like, you know, the latest video games and like,
Right, how
oh,
it's
look,
like all.
it's like, oh, that's 3D.
Ye-
It's like we live in a 3D world.
Yeah,
like,
we live
just
in a
look
3D
at your
world.
hand.
Yeah.
Look at your hand. Move it around. Look how that's better than any graphics.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's amazing. We choose our own story.
Right. We do. We choose our own story and we choose our own destiny, and destiny is made for
We're
whatever
confronted
you
with
do.
so many choices every day. And here's a thought for you. You can choose the thinking in your brain. You can choose your thoughts.
Oh yeah, you can definitely choose your thoughts. You have all will to manifest and think of what you want. You can
And you have the power in the way you act. And
yeah.
the choices
You
make.
have I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of the word. You're reliable for your actions. You're reliable.
Agency?
Yeah, agency. So if I end up saying something because I was mad, well, I knew what I was doing. I am accountable for what I said. I'm accountable for what I do. And people that can't hold themselves accountable for their mistakes in their past ends up catching up with them because they don't come to terms with it. And that's where things get really dark. And I've been through that because like there's things I've done in the past that I wish I'd never done, that I could have
Hey,
been
join
a
the
smarter.
club. Trust me. I'm right
Yeah,
there with you.
no, yeah. There's many people. There's many of artists, and there's many of just regular day lives. Like
Speaking
these,
of-
like all these people, they look really wealthy. They look like they got money in their pockets.
Speaking
They
of-
look homebound, but like it doesn't
No,
matter
hey,
what you
hey.
have.
Hey man, you're styling, man. Like, come on.
It doesn't matter what you have. It's matter what's up in here and what's in here.
Okay, so real quick here, you mentioned art.
Art.
Your art is your music.
Sir.
And we haven't even really talked about that. We haven't even
Okay,
gone into that
so
yet.
my music, I make love songs and I make drill songs, and right now I'm getting into the mix of trap metal because
Explain what a drill song is.
a drill song is like technically like it comes out of New York mostly. It's where you just talk about, it's like a drill, so like people hitting licks, people doing this like to make money, selling drugs and all this. Well, see, I came up off the drill life, which I'm not ashamed of. I've had to sell drugs, I've had to hit licks, I've had to do people really dirty to get to some points where I'm at in my life, and that's where it comes to where you have to come to terms with what you've done in the past, because if you don't like seek forgiveness for what you've done wrong,
Yeah.
it will catch up with you. And so like, so to say, it's all it's all good intentioned. It's just some people just came up off that lifestyle. Some people are depressed, so they make love songs. That's the only way they can vent their heart out.
Yeah, I
in the
love
same
you
way.
so much, man.
I love you too,
I
dude.
love you, bro.
And my music, it doesn't just base off of just selling drugs and killing and murdering people. It's none of that. Mostly, like I might mention, like I might do something to somebody if they try to test me or my people, because I'm gonna stand up for my label and I'm gonna stand up for what I believe in, no matter what. I die by my own and I die by my people. And even if that person did me wrong, I'm gonna still do that person right, because karma's a bitch. Karma
Well, and
exists.
plus, you don't know what they've been through.
Well,
and what
you
struggles
don't know
they've
what they've been through or what struggles. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's everyone has a story that hasn't been told.
Yeah.
Like mine's being told, and there's a few other people out there that haven't had their stories told. And I hope eventually that people that are going through the same thing that I'm going through, or even worse, make it to where they can express themselves, like peacefully and healthy. Because like tomorrow ain't promised to no man. I could go to sleep. Ryan could go to sleep right now. We could be in a whole nother realm. Our universe could implode, and then me and him be talking right now in a different position in another life. So like I believe in reincarnation, not on the same planet. Depends if you completed what you've completed, what your task or what your test was, because we all have a goal in our destined lives. Like I want to be a better father to my children when I ever have children, because my father wasn't there for me, and he
that
wasn't.
motivates you.
Yeah,
Like,
and my mom too. She's an addict, recovering addict. So at that, and just don't use drugs as an excuse to hide your feelings. Don't use force to make things happen. Just sit back, work on it from where you're sitting, because people are gonna notice you. They will notice you, and like my alternative for my life, I want to be rich and famous, yeah, but like it's more to it. I want to touch out to people like XXXTentacion and Lil Peep and Juice WRLD did. Juice WRLD, XXXTentacion, and Lil Peep are my idols. They're one of my biggest idols, and be a young boy to a certain extent, to the drill, like to like the trap parts, and like Boosie and Gucci Mane, like all the upcoming artists that are like kind of beefing and that have been beefing for years because of the game. It's nothing to beef over. You're literally living your life to benefit you and the people around you. Why start a problem over it?
By the way, so do you want to talk a little bit about like this musical kind of group that you're kind of like?
Yeah, I can actually do that. Let me remember the name real quick, because I just got put into this group. The group is called, oh, 1 second. It is called KVLT, Catacomb. So me and this clique of people that I just got with, shout out to Dead and Sick, and to all the other artists that are a part of that clique that I have not met personally or through IG or any social media.
Those are both really good guys.
Yeah, they're very great artists. You should go look at their SoundClouds and all that. But Dead is the one that put me onto it, and Sick is the one that confirmed that I could be in it, because we all have the same motive. We're not in it for the money. We're in it to put our music out there and touch hearts and touch people. Whether you're an underground rapper or you're a top-notch rapper that's living in luxury, it doesn't matter what you have. Like, it doesn't. All that matters is what comes from inside.
Yeah.
And to people that, and I want to put this out there, to people that do psychedelics and do like heroin or cocaine or methamphetamines, like if you're an addict or addicted to something, don't feel like it's your fault, because whatever, well, you know what, I'm not going to say that, because you have the mind to control what you do, and it might be a numbing point at one point, but once that numbing point comes and then you get addicted to being so numb, it becomes a constant thing, and you're going to crave that feeling that takes that pain away that you feel inside. It's like if you want to put the camera down, I've went through a very bad depression all the way up my arms, and it was over just a girl, and I was 14 years old, and she did me so wrong, but I was doing her so well. Like, me and her, that ain't the conversation right now. But even your lover or someone that you care about hurts you, learn to deal with it in a more healthier way. Like this right here, this doesn't accomplish anything. It doesn't. The only reason I am 420 friendly is because it helps my anxiety, it helps my PTSD, and it helps me open up to you people as a person. Because when I was at the bottom, I didn't know how to like explain myself, and that's where that whole addiction thing falls in line. this isn't an addiction. I could quit this any day of the week. I could break this right in front of you guys right now, but I don't really want to. But what I'm trying to get at is just be yourself. Don't care what people have to say about you besides the positive things. If it's negative, take that with a grain of salt and then throw it over your left shoulder, because they're the ones dropping the salt. And like Tupac said, there is no, like, with your enemies, there's no peace till he picks up the dirt he dropped. Well, that's not the case. That dirt can grow into something. It can fertilize, it can bloom into something beautiful. It's just it just depends on how you want to deal with it and your mentality of dealing with it. Because there's always a healthy alternative to dealing with something, and then there's an unhealthy way of dealing with something. And when I was growing up, that's when it like started coming to mind. Like as soon as like last year I turned 17, it affected me way. It didn't affect me for a minute, because like I was like, all right, I'm 17 years old, boo-hoo, it's a big whoop, just another day of my life. 3 days in, things changed. Right now, the retrograde is going on. If any of you ladies and gentlemen know what that is, I hope you do. That's where stuff gets really chaotic and bad things happen. And that's where I want people to start understanding, like, even through a retrograde, there is positivity. For there to be a shadow, there has to be light. And for there to have to be light, there is a shadow. It's just depending on how you want to deal with your demons. You can feed them, or you can nurture them to be on your side, or it's all black and white. But like today, people are like seeing color. Oh well, so Ryan's Caucasian and I'm African American and Caucasian. It doesn't matter what your ethnicity is. It doesn't matter what your gender is. You can be pansexual, you can be transgender, you can be there, here, them. It doesn't matter. As long as you're okay with yourself and love yourself, it doesn't matter what people think.
Everyone's trying to figure themselves out and figure the world out.
Yeah, they are.
That's where I think it's so important that they turn to and realize, like, humility, and realizing that, you know, whether someone believes in God or whatever they believe in, realizing that there's much more out there still to learn.
Right.
They don't know.
And the universe is your playground, guys. Like, literally, you can do anything you want to. Like, you can build nice furniture like this. And like I was watching a Facebook thing. This guy from Ghana made his own car out of scraps, literally junk metal, trying to be the next Elon Musk. You don't need gold, you don't need diamonds, you don't need Louis Vuitton, you don't need Gucci, Prada, you don't need none of that. That's all stuff that people just want.
You know, I said once in a while, it's actually on my YouTube. It's just a short little clip.
Yeah.
But where I said that nothing is more valuable than a human life.
Yeah, nothing is more valuable than a human life.
A pile of gold right here. Could it think? Could it feel things? Could you talk to it?
If there was a pile of gold right here sitting between me and Ryan, there was a guy on my shoulder saying, I either had to pick Ryan or that piece of gold, I would toss that gold over my shoulder. Because gold is just an item. It can be replaced.
Yeah.
You know how much uranium and silver and crystal and amethyst and gold that be up in these mountains in Utah? There's so much. But the government wants to manipulate you into thinking, oh, that's what I need to be successful. It's not what you need to be successful. You don't need to have millions of dollars to be successful. You don't need the new shoes that just came out because some kid just bought them and is making fun of your old pair of shoes at school. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. It doesn't matter what you got. It doesn't matter what you came from. All that matters is that you learn through the life that you live, day to day. Take one day at a time, because every breath that you take is a breath of knowledge. Yeah. Every sight that you look is a sight of beauty and also ugliness, because there is ugly and there is beauty in the world. But even the most ugliest things can't turn beautiful. It's just it needs just a little bit of help, like a rose that's dying. Like I use this as a metaphor a lot. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you for the word.
Yeah.
And so like there's this rose. I plant a rose seed. That rose seed needs help to grow because it needs certain things. It needs water, it needs vitamin D, like sunlight and all that. It needs things to help carry it to be what it needs to be.
Yeah.
The littlest things can become beautiful, and the biggest things can also become ugly. It's just, like I said, it just all depends on how it's handled and how it's thought processed out. Because there's always a strategy to something. There's always a alternative motive to things. And in our human minds, there's 3-time demeanors, because there's a right, there's a wrong, and then there's the truth. And that's what I live by too. And it's like, and I'm gonna mention Seer in this video because he was like a brother to me, and he fell off, and I don't know what happened. You need positive people to make positive things happen. You can't have non-positive people to make positive things happen, because if they're non-positive and you're positive, that's a minus, that's a positive and a negative literally going at it. Because
He's one of my favorite people.
Yeah,
He's still one of my favorite people.
he's one of my favorite people too.
Yeah.
I just hope that me and him can come to terms one day and then start making music again, and hopefully you guys can start talking and be friends again, because like, life is too short to have regrets, and life is too short to start arguments and start beefs with people just because you're emotionally messed up because of what person did to you. Whatever you do in the present is gonna affect your future, and whatever happened in the past, it already affected your present. So like, why worry about it? Like, it's all love and peace from my side. There's strategy. The way you react to something is the way that way is gonna go. So like, if I'm being robbed for my phone or my shoes or my shirt, am I gonna really die over a piece of clothing? No, I'm gonna give it up, because he obviously needs it more than I do, because he's sitting here doing all that, and I've been through that. I've had to steal fucking shoes. I've had to rob people. I've had to jack people and scam people just because I had no other choice. The only reason you should do somebody wrong is if you have no other alternative choice. If you have another choice to do something that won't create it from being so bad, then do it. But don't do that wrong thing just because you think it's gonna make you famous or make you noticeable. Being noticed isn't much to me. Like, I want to be noticed as for an artist, and I want to be where these rappers are nowadays, but not in the beef spectrum. I just want people to have their hearts be touched and understand that they're not alone in this world.
I want to have a true connection with people.
Yeah, I want to have a really, really true connection with people. Even people that aren't like me. Like, some people didn't grow up on drill. Some people didn't grow up shooting people or robbing people. They grew up on being abused. Like, there's so many possibilities of what you could have grown. You could have grown up in the most poorest place, living in bandos and trap houses that had no heat or electricity or water running. It just all depends where you come from. And if someone doesn't respect the fact that you've been trying and that you push past the stuff that you've been done wrong in the past, then why waste your time and energy on someone that doesn't care? You know, you can care about them all you want, because there is karma. Trust me, there is good karma.
Pray and hope and try.
Hope, faith, and belief, and the law of attraction. Those are the 4 things you need in your life. That's it. Because the law of attraction will attract anything you manifest. Faith, that just helps the law of attraction work its process. Belief, and like, belief falls in faith, and it's just, you gotta work for what you want. It's not handed to you.
You know, it's a process.
It is a very long process.
And it's really all about, in the end, it's about getting closer to God,
Yeah.
and getting closer to your fellow man.
Yeah.
One step at a time, right?
Yeah,
Like, we all
and
have a
it's
lot to
not
learn.
like, yeah, and plus, like, people are like, money is the most important thing. It is not the most important thing. I can tell you, half these people in here that have all the money in the world, they're not gonna have that in their casket. They're probably gonna have an expensive casket, but they're not gonna have millions and diamonds and gold in it. I mean, come on. I mean, even there was an artist told me, he said, I don't remember what artist it was, but he said, when you die, your riches won't come to you to heaven. I don't know if that was Drake or I can't remember. It was one of the pop artists back in the day, back in 2013, 14. He said, "When you die, you can't take it with you to heaven, and you will have riches in heaven. That will be your soul being bright and shining and showing other people that there is another side. And there is a hell for people, for like pedophiles, for rapists, for people that kidnap little girls and sell their organs on the black market. There is a hell for people like that. But it's their own hell in their own mind. What they have manifest that is hell to other people in their own minds is what they're going to be going through in their next life. Because what you do in this life is going to determine what goes on in your next life. Because we're all here for a test. We're all here to learn something. I'm here to, I believe that I'm here to open up and have people understand that what I've been through and what I go through they're not the only ones. And it hurts to think about it. Trust me, it does. Multiple people are like, oh, I don't want to talk about this concept, this is too much, or it doesn't make sense. It doesn't have to make sense to add up meaning. Meaning is a meaning. Sense is sense. However you want to take it is your sense. So yeah, it follows in with the law of attraction. It's like a repeat. It's a cycle. So the universe is created by a black hole. It can also be destroyed by a black hole. Once our universe implodes on itself, there is a new universe being made. It's a new life.
Well, they talk in science about a multiverse. And
Well, multiverse, alternate universes.
There's just a lot we don't know. Right?
Well, yeah, I've heard people tell me that Earth is just a sick experiment from another planet because there's exoplanets that have the same environment, same oxygen levels and stuff as we do on this planet. But if it is that, then we're here for a reason.
Yes. I think
Just know, people, we're here for a reason. Don't ever think, oh, my life is meaningless or I
God
should
put
go
us
cut
here.
or kill myself.
God put us here for a
God
reason.
put us here for a reason. And whatever that reason is, we will find out in the end. He might be giving us riddles and questions and whatever. And I've told people this. They're like want to show me things and all this, but they told me the answers are right behind your eyelids and your dreams. But I don't want to know because I like surprises. Because I'd rather be surprised at what happens and then study sitting there picking my brain wondering what's going to happen next, because you're just going to drive yourself crazy doing
If
that.
you know everything, then that starts
Yeah,
to
if
kinda
you know
boring.
everything, that's kind of going to be worrying because you're going to not know what to do with all that knowledge that you have.
Hey, did you explain at the beginning of this? Because you mentioned Block Boy, right?
Block Boy, so
Have you gone in? Did you explain? I don't remember. Did you explain how you got the name?
no, I didn't. So Block Boy Q, I got Block Boy, well, so my first artist name was AK, Little AK. And that's when I was in Michigan. It's when I started doing music. It's because my favorite assault rifle was an AK-47. And my best friend was named Lil Draco. So me and him still to this day talk to each other, make music and all that. And I ended up changing my name because I was always in the streets living with my mom, and we'd always either be posted up on the block trying to panhandle, get some food, or just sleeping in the car. And then so I was like, all right, my name is Block Boy because I'm used to being outside on the block. And then Q came in because Quincy Hurst is my biological name, and so Q is short for Quincy. So we put Block Boy Q.
And I usually just call you Q.
Yeah, and you all usually call me Q. Block Boy Q came in together from Mello, actually, because we were sitting there trying to figure out a name for me. Because I was trying to just go as Block Boy, but there's a lot of artists there's an artist that's already famous that's named Block Boy, so I didn't want to be a follower of that artist. Not that I have a problem with that artist, it's just I don't like to dick ride. So I ended up putting Q at the end, so it has a little bit of difference. Because Q, for me, stands for quantity and there's a quantity and question. There's a question every corner you lurk, and to that question there is a quantity of answers that can be revealed. So there can be there's an answer for everything, but sometimes there isn't. But I don't know, for me, there's always an answer. Because if there's not an answer, then why was it created? like this beautiful place. People question, why was it made? Like I did earlier, why was this made? It's because there are very, very famous and intelligent people that had the brain capacity and the thought process to make something beautiful. So there, after that question, there became an answer. It's just life. There's an answer to everything. It's just a matter of time till we're ready to accept the answer and the truth. Because some people can't handle the truth, and that's understandable. But when it does come to the truth, the best way to deal with it is just accept it, because there's nothing you can do about it.
You know, one thing I like about your name is as Q, because in the alphabet, right, Q, when you're writing out words, it's always followed by the U, right? Q and you like to connect.
Yeah.
You like to connect with other people.
Well, see,
right?
yeah, because
so it goes together.
Yeah,
It's hand in hand.
Well, U is the second letter in my name, so Q-U-I-N-C-Y, and my middle name is Micaiah, and that's
Q U I.
Yeah.
You and I.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so, where was I at? Man.
Well, is there anything else that you wanted to get to before we wrap up?
There's actually something I didn't want to say. To those that have not heard of me, that have not met me in person, or that haven't met me on social media, my Instagram, my IG is blockboy, N-O-B. You can say knob or whenever. And it's _kill. That's my IG. You can go there to support my reels, my music, and Ryan's post as well, and Young Slip Up's post as well, Dead's post as well. Six, Mellows, whoever you guys mess with in the music industry, I do have on my phone. Delaric is also throwing a show June 10th. You guys should go see that at Loading Docks.
Delaric, and there's going to be some other really great artists there too.
There's going to be some really
Delaric just released an album that is just fire.
Yeah, I only got to hear one song of it.
He just performed with Kaisa,
right?
And I have a video of their performance together from a few weeks back.
Right.
A beautiful song about like suicide.
Yeah.
And stuff, and it's really
Yeah, I'm actually coming out with a new song too after I drop this one. It's called Pay the Cost, because the things we do on a daily basis, we have to pay certain costs to do those certain things. There's always a price to something besides your immortal soul. There's no price to a human being. But what I wanted to get at is, how do I say this in a short term that you guys will understand? Taking a loss to come up to take, okay, so when you take losses, people say you're never gonna amount to anything. Well, that's a lie. When you take losses, you learn from them. Just like you learn from your mistakes, it's the same thing. And I'm probably explaining the same thing over and over again, which I might be. I don't know. I have different definitions how I explain things.
Fine.
But if you guys, I'll have my SoundCloud up, back and running here today. I'll have 2 songs up there. If you guys have any, like requests or if there's any of you that have like the same problems that we go through on a daily basis, mentally or physically, don't be afraid to just text me. Like, even if I don't know who you are, if you need someone to talk to or vent to,
like message you on
just message me on Instagram, or Messenger. It's easy to find me, easy. I am there for people that need people. Female, male, transgender, don't matter. I'm there for the people and there for myself. As long as you have the same positivity and the same energy, everything should be fine with you guys. Like, just have hope and have faith that you'll accomplish things the world, because without faith there is no future. There's no future without faith.
Well said, yeah.
And I've learned that a lot. And shout out to the other artists that Ryan has interviewed. You guys are crazy. You guys are very smart and intelligent. And I hope to meet some of you guys in person if I haven't already. Other than that, don't let pain. Well, you know what? Don't let other people define who you are. Let yourself define who you are, because the only person that can teach you and help yourself is you. No one else can do it for you. So independence is the best dependence in the world.
Yeah. Hey, well said. All right, man. Hey, that was a great interview.
Thank you.
Love you, brother.
All right, love you too.
Okay, see you later. Peace out.